We're joined today by women's basketball head coach Mike O'Brien after his fourth season here at Wells College. Coach, you had one of the most historic seasons ever by a sports team here at Wells. You made the NCAA Tournament after winning the team's first ever NCAA championship in women's basketball. Talk to us about your general thoughts on the season. Obviously a very successful season.
Well, it really was. It was a very successful season for us. We started the program 4 years ago, and to take the program from not existing at the NCAA level and relaunching the program really after 30 years, it's a big accomplishment for us to get through and win the conference championship within those first 4 recruiting classes. From a coach's perspective, could not ask for a better result really at this point given the youth of our program, and just really happy for our team members and all the work that they put in during the season. I think that they really even probably surprised themselves, and in conversations that I've had with them after the season ended, we're a little still euphoric about how the season went, and when we set our goals in the beginning of the year. It really was. The first thing we had up on the board was to win the NCAA championship and go to the NCAA tournament. So when we came and revisited those goals right before the championship tournament, the majority of them were still in reach, and the most important ones were, and we were able to accomplish them. So it's rare to have those opportunities, and I'm really grateful and thankful that the team got to experience those things.
And in the NCAA tournament, you lost to the eventual Division III champions from FDU Florham. Talk to us a little bit about that experience. As a coach, obviously the players, it was something new for them, hadn't been to the NCAA tournament in team history. Only the second team from Wells College to make it to the NCAA tournament level and participate. What did that experience mean for you as a coach, watching your team develop over the past 4 years?
Right. It was a great accomplishment. It was really an electric atmosphere for our team. It was an experience that, even though we didn't win the game, it was an experience I think that the players kind of came away from, to be able to play in front of 2,500 to 3,000 people. It was a packed house. It was obviously FDU Florham, and all credit goes to them. They finished their season undefeated as national champions. So we can walk away from it saying, well, we went up against the best team in all of Division III. We were very happy with what we accomplished this year. For me, my coaching perspective is I got a taste of, okay, this is what we're going to need to do to be able to compete on the national level. And that's really kind of the next step for us, in the program's history, is to see, can we repeat as NCAA champions, which will be a very tough task, given the competition that we have in our league. But then, if we are able to accomplish those goals, to get there year after year and be in the mix, and then to see what we can do on the national level.
Obviously, with such a successful season, a team effort's needed to get to that next level. But on an individual level, you certainly had a lot of standout performances from key members of your team. Talk to us a little about those.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we've been led by the last 4 years by a great scorer and rebounder in Ashley Rozier. She graduated this year, led the country 2 years ago in rebounds per game, had another stellar year, repeated as NCAA Player of the Year this past season. So, she has been kind of the bedrock of our team from a statistical standpoint, but where we've grown as a team is adding more pieces around her and the development of our other players. We got significant contributions this year from one of our juniors, Caitlin Knapp. She really gave us a presence inside that we haven't had before. She had some great individual games, came up for us big at times throughout the season, was another person that we could kind of really lean on. And then, throughout the year, we had injuries that we had to deal with, and one of our seniors, Teresa Hernandez, who's normally a shooting guard, stepped up into our point guard role, and she did a great job fulfilling point guard duties for a good majority of the year until we could get healthy. And one of our other seniors, who's been a captain 3 out of the 4 years that she's been here, Kristen Ryan, her leadership on and off the court was great, and performance-wise, she was really clutch for us in our championship game for the NCAA championship. She scored 12 points in the first half, was perfect from the field, and her performance came at a clutch time when we were down double digits, and she really kind of helped us, in the game. So performances like that, from our seniors on down was really kind of a key for us, throughout the season. You've got to have those individual successes merge together to have great team success.
Not only from a numbers perspective in terms of the number of roster spots that your players have filled, what are some ways your team has grown in the other sense of the word?
Yeah, I think, obviously you have better stats as time has gone along, as your talent has increased, and those first couple of years was really hard, reintroducing the program, getting our name out there that Wells College does have a basketball program again. And, what I notice is a difference in the attitude of the members of the team, from that fledgling group of players in those first couple of years where we were, kind of the new kids, out there trying to earn our keep, to now the expectation of winning. And that's some of the things that some of the returners will have for next year is that they actually have to deal with expectations for the first time that they are now a top program. There's no, well, we're just kind of young, we have an excuse kind of attitude. Now the attitude is we expect to win, we expect to be successful. So I think that's a big, huge thing that I think the players can kind of carry from the athletic venue and into their academic life here at Wells, and that kind of attitude. They have those higher levels and those higher expectations that they take, that you really hope that intercollegiate athletics provides for student athletes.
What are some important goals for your team next year?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we have to, as we kind of transition out of that first 4 years of having a program, we just graduated our first class. Very accomplished senior class that we graduated this year, but we're lucky and fortunate enough to have a good core of players coming back. We've got some good newcomers coming into the program this upcoming season. So it's really meeting the expectations and setting some high goals. Like I said earlier, I think that repeating as champions is going to be a tall order given the competition that we have in the conference. It's something, though, that I feel that the team puts their mind to it, that they saw the results of what they could do this year by their hard work throughout practice, throughout the year, playing as a team throughout the year. They saw the end results of it. So now, having a taste of that, how do you go out and kind of repeat that? And it may not be exactly that same formula. You have to take the new ingredients that are coming in, and people's roles will change for this upcoming season, given the graduating class that we just had. So those things, combined with that drive again, and it starts with me, to have that winning attitude, to keep breeding that success, to have those expectations for our team. Those are some of the goals that we want to reach. And I would say that one of the biggest goals that we accomplished this past year was the fact that, we pretty much maximized our potential that we had on the team. And I think, coaches always look at it from a wins and loss perspective, but at the same time, when you get the most that you can out of a team, I think that's a definite measure of success.
Talk to us about some big games on the calendar in the 2014-15 season.
Sure, yeah. We're adding 2 teams to the conference again next year, but I've noticed a definite increase in the depth of the teams in the conference, their level of play as time has gone on, more parity, between some of the teams that are in the conference, and there's some young teams that are on the rise as well here. So now it's a unique perspective for us. Now that we're not, the new program anymore, and there's some other teams that are kind of out there that are coming into our conference that kind of hold that title, and we're entering the season with pretty much a target on our back as the defending champion. So we need to be, cognizant of that, going in that pretty much every conference game, people are going to want to beat the defending champion. We had a fortunate circumstance in our first year where we beat the defending champion in overtime. So it was a big accomplishment for us that year. So we're trying to kind of remember what that feels like, and how that was, and kind of use that as motivation for us. But some good non-conference games next year as well. We have a trip down to St. Petersburg, Florida, to play against two very top teams, one team that made the Elite Eight last year and another team that was in the field of 64. So they're going to be very tough tests for us right before Christmas time. And then we get in the second semester, we get into the bulk of our conference schedule, and we expect it to be quite a grind. And we were fortunate enough this year to peak at the right time. We battled through some early injuries throughout the early portions of the season, and things really kind of came together for us as right at the end of the regular season and into tournament time. So, we're looking to kind of put those pieces together, and of course we're graduating another 4 seniors next year. We have a good core of people coming back, but as a coach, I'm already looking my eyes forward to keeping our program competitive, not only just this upcoming year, but in seasons to come, and keep that championship level as an expectation for Wells College basketball.